end of this training. All right, we're going to go straight into the client profile caseload tool. Before, in the past, you just had one area where you could search and associate, a single user to a single client. It's kind of enhanced this area, and this is available, like I said, only to agency managers and above, service area managers. There will be this user list, and this will always show which agency users are currently associated to this specific client. As we indicated within the slide, we have changed this functionality so that you can have multiple users assigned to the same client. For those instances where you have a client that has, in different programs or different sites, both of those caseworkers can be assigned to them. We've also allowed it that no caseworker has to be assigned to a specific client, and that's very useful. So say a client has left the program, not receiving any services anymore, they've gone down the road, there's no sense in that client still being on someone's caseload. So that's why we've allowed that as well. Now within this area, we've allowed two different utilities. Basically, you can add new users to this client as well as remove client users from this client. To add a user, basically you have this drop-down area, and it's basically going to show you all the users that are within your agency and able to be associated to this client. When you select them, basically all you have to do is click this little plus, and it'll automatically shoot them down into the user list. Now, conversely, to remove them, all you have to do is check one or more of these current users and just hit the minus sign, and they'll automatically get deleted from that client profile. And as before, all the persons on this user list, basically that means that that client is going to show up in their individual caseload on their home or start page. Now, one other little kind of neat little piece of information that we put in there, and this is for all users, every single user will see this, is last updated by. This basically is going to show the user that last saved or added information for that client. Kind of just give a little bit of information. You say, hey, say you're used to working with a client and something, you go, hey, who added that? I don't remember adding that. You should be able to come back here and it'll give you a little information on the last person in there. Now the caseload utility itself, only agency managers have it, and it's down within their tools themselves. Once clicking on this, it'll basically bring up this caseload utility area. Provides an opportunity for agency managers to view every user's caseload and associate different clients. The utility also provides managers the ability to transfer a client from one user to another, share a client between two or more users, and even completely remove certain clients from a user or all users' caseload. Hopefully this tool can provide a lot of flexibility to agencies in managing their clients and their users. This is actually a pretty well asked for utility, so we're really glad we could get it out during this release. Now, once selecting the utility, the system will take you to the screen, and everything revolves around the transfer from client that you're going to select. You basically have a drop-down, and it's basically going to give you all the users within your system. Here also is going to be there's a caseload area and then a transfer to area. Basically, the system is going to, by default, list all users available within the agency that are able to accept clients. So that's going to be by default within the system. Now, once you select the specific user that you want to view the caseload from and kind of take action with, kind of the utility kind of rolls off that. So down in the next slide, say we selected the agency manager. What happens after selecting that is the system is going to look and pull all clients into this caseload area that are within this agency manager's caseload. Now, at this point in time, once this is done, you basically have the ability to check individuals. You can just check a single person, two people, or you can click and check entire caseload. And what the system will do is it will actually check automatically every single person in that caseload. Now, some caseloads are really large, they can take up multiple pages. As with the other parts in the system, if it does have multiple pages, you'll be able to click between the pages and see between the different users. Once you've selected a new, one or more caseloads clients to perform an action to, then basically all of these utilities will basically show up. At this point in time, when you've selected these clients here, you can actually select remove. And what remove will actually do is removal can actually take that client and take them completely off that client's caseload. What you can also do if you want to transfer or share a client is select one of these transfer to clients, and that's basically kind of like the person that's going to accept that new client on that screen. Now we're going to kind of go to the next screen. And actually, no, we're going to stay on that screen. I'm sorry, I got a little ahead of myself. The three buttons that basically are going to be able to be done are transfer client, share client, and remove, as we said before. With the transfer client, what that actually is going to do is that's going to move or remove the client from the current transfer from user and completely move them only to the transfer to person. Now, a share client is basically you're going to keep that client with the originating user, but it's also going to show up on the other user's caseload. So it's kind of a way to put it in, associate multiple users to that client. And then finally, as I said before, you've got the remove, where you can completely take that person off that entire caseload. Now, there are a couple notes about a couple little wrinkles with using the system. Now, if you select multiple clients to transfer to, you can no longer use the transfer. You'll only be allowed to share clients because that's a multiple user thing. Also, one thing that we like to show is we have a default in here in your transfer from users. There's actually a section called unassigned user. If you select that, and every agency has that, it's going to show all the clients that are currently not assigned to any user in your agency. So it's kind of a nice way to give you a list of, all the people, if they come back in, you can, check that client and reassign them to other people, or just kind of get a feel of how many clients are free-floating within your agency. Now we're going to go over to the Client Delete tool. Before we get into its actual functionality and how to use it, we do have a few notes about the tool and we'd like to cover first. The Delete Client tool is available for all users, though agency managers and intake caseworkers have different permission levels of which clients they can remove from the system. Now, agency and service area managers can delete any client, will be able to find, search, and delete any client that resides within their specific agency. Basically, those people have ultimate authority for client deletions, anybody in their system, in their agency. Now, intake caseworkers will have the access to the client delete tool, but they'll only have the ability to remove specific clients in the system. We wanted to give them the ability to use it, but not complete authority over the entire agency. So the rules are intake and caseworkers will have access to this and be able to remove clients that are only explicitly assigned to them and are only on their caseload. So basically, if there's a client out there that's assigned to someone else's caseload or is assigned to another person besides themselves, the system is not going to let them delete that person. So just want to make sure everybody understands the different permission levels within the system. Now, clients should only be deleted or removed if they've been mistakenly entered or duplicated, not because they've finished or exited your agency site or program. Please do not remove any client from the system simply because they've exited your program, stopped receiving services. Those clients should forever remain in the system so they can always be retracted and reported on historically. So it's only mistakes that we want to get out of the system. Now, finally, once a client is deleted using this utility, they are permanently removed from the system. There's no going back. We basically take away the households, the programs they're associated to, their client profile, pretty much poof, they're removed from the system. So please take care and use care when using this tool. And please know that once you hit that final confirm and they're out of the system, there's not much we can do about it, about getting them back. As within the Client Delete tool is available within the tool section on the Bold Action menu and is available to all the clients. When you click on it, basically you're going to come into this area, and what it starts with is basically a search criteria. You basically can search by social security number, last name, or first name, or you can use a combination of any of them to try to refine your search. Now, after hitting the search, the system's kind of got to look through the system, depending on your permissions, and depending on your search criteria, it's either going to bring back a list of matching clients, that meet your criteria. and if it brings back a match, it's got a whole bunch of information associated with that client, so you're 100% positive you're choosing the client you want to delete. And you can click that client, and it'll go ahead and start you on the client deletion procedure. Or if the system only finds a single match in the system, it'll automatically select that person for you, and bam, take you directly to that page. Now, a couple notes here. Once you're in the utility, if you want to get out of this utility, basically there's a start page link here. Just click that, and it'll take you directly back to your start page. And also, we're not allowing any blank searches, meaning you can't just hit search on these blank fields and have the system return all searches. We wanted to try to condense the search to avoid, mistakes. So you have to enter in at least one criteria to return any searches in your delete client match. Now, once you start the client deletion process, you go ahead and click client, confirm delete, and the system will actually show you it's not shown here on the screen, it's actually the entire client profile, and it's all read-only, and it has pretty much everything on the client profile, so you're 100% sure that this is the client you want to delete. Once you hit that, it will then take you through a couple more stages that were set here. The first stage is the system will tell you, if the client is in a household or if they're enrolled in any programs. It'll show the program information here, as well as it'll show, hey, this is the household they're currently in. And they kind of want to let you know that they're going to remove them from the household, as well as delete all the program information as well. Then you have to hit confirm delete to go to the next step. Now, finally, this is kind of the final process, and we kind of went through the step because, as we said before, this is a 100% irreversible process. It'll basically ask, are you sure you completely want to remove this client from the system? And it'll have a little checkbox here. You'll have to check this box, and at this time, this button will then become active. Then finally, after you go through that, one press checkbox and another confirm delete, after you hit that, then the system will completely remove that client from the system, and they'll be kind of remove it out of your agency. So that, in a nutshell, is how you use the client delete tool. Please use it. Please take care when using this tool.